D2, why do I do this to myself live here with Riptides? And technically, this tier list was his idea.
Yes.
So, and what we're going to be doing here is tier list ranking every single WWE game, ECW game, WCW game, TNA game, which is only one of them, and AEW game. All in a tier list. This is over 60 games we're dealing with. I think we have 64 games we're going to be doing in tier list ranking from Hall of Fame, great, good, alright, trash, and obviously undecided.
Something like that,
yeah. So, yeah, strap back and let's get to it. This is going to be a long one. I already have a feeling it's going to be a long one. Now, the first game we got, I believe it came out in either 86, 87, and yes, I put these in order by release year. I'm not by release date. And it was the WrestleMania arcade game.
Yep.
Now, do you have any experience playing this? Because I just heard about videos of this. It's basically 4 superstars. It was pretty much like an arcade ladder game to win. Kind of like how MK is.
Yeah, I played it when I was a kid. When I went to the arcades and shit, they still had it.
Yeah.
It was an alright game.
It's like, I only seen videos on it, and, they say the gameplay was really clunky, but you really can't fault it. It's an early arcade game. You can't compare it to modern day.
It's a slower game.
So for me personally, I don't really have that much experience. For me personally, I would put it in undecided, but you said it was all right with the little experience you had with it.
Yeah.
So, that being said, I'll just take your word on it. We're going to get in more in-depth conversation later about these games, especially near the late 90s, 2000s craze. All right.
Yep.
Next, we got WCW Wrestling here, the first WCW game out. I really don't know a whole lot about this one. I don't know if you do either.
Which one is that one?
The WCW Wrestling game, the one with the Road Warriors on the cover. It was also an arcade-style game.
That one I don't have too much I could say about. That one have to go in undecided. I haven't really played too much of that. I only played it like once.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some people who played this one a lot back in those days and would probably say it was all right or good or whatever, but we ain't talking to any of those people. I'd have no experience with this. Sorry, that one goes in undecided. I can't say it's trash, can't say it's any other one, so I really don't know. The closest I got was seeing gameplay of this, and even I can't base my opinion on that. Right?
Yeah.
Next, we got WWF Superstars here, which was the another arcade-style game after WrestleMania here. To be honest, I haven't even seen gameplay of this.
It was alright.
I haven't even seen gameplay of this video of that game yet, so I'll just have to go with what you remember. If you ever played it.
It was alright. It was... They incorporated a little bit more superstars.
Yeah, I heard there was like a little bit more than the first arcade game here. But that was about it. I never seen any like gameplay video of it. I'm pretty sure there's some out there on YouTube. Maybe like a little bit, but I've never seen it. I just hear reviews about this very scarcely. It never really gets talked about that much. So I think I would just have to put it right there, only because you said there was more characters to it.
Yeah.
What was the gameplay like, if you remember? But it was probably about the same.
I just remember, guys, these were the games that came out that they were literally starting with nothing on.
Yep.
They didn't think that these games would actually sell.
Yeah, and then they sell, and now look where it's at now.
Exactly.
But, comparing the old arcade-style games to the current crop is unfair to do. Right? Then we got WrestleMania Challenge, which I believe was another arcade style game. I heard of this one before. I had seen gameplay on it on YouTube.
It was good. It was better than the first three.
Yeah. I mean, have you played any of these old ones?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna have to take your word. How was it compared to the other two arcade games we talked about?
Like I said, I'd put it in good because it was better than the first three. They had gotten a lot better. The graphics were starting to get more and more advanced.
Yeah. And don't worry. I mean, I know this seems mediocre, but I'll just take your word for it. I really haven't. I'd never played that. I can only go by gameplay footage I've seen of it, which ain't a whole lot. Just based on that, I'd put it in trash. But I never played it, so I really can't make a definitive decision on that. Now we go to WrestleFest. I believe this was like an NES game plus a arcade style type game as well. Don't quote me on that one.
WrestleFest was decent enough. It was one of the better games that I played on the NES.
Yeah. So yeah, how would you compare it to the previous ones we talked about? In other words, how would you compare and where would you put it here?
I would put it in good, because this is where they started to get more advanced, where they started to put it towards consoles.
Yeah. So would you say it's better than WrestleMania Challenge or nah?
Yes. It may be an unpopular opinion, but that was my thought.
So, top of good right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then next we got WWE Euro Rampage, WWF Euro Rampage Tour.
I played very little of it, but from what I did, I thought it was garbage.
I really can't say anything about this one either. Yeah,
if you want, you could put it in undecided because you haven't really played it. And from my perspective, for most of these games, I thought it was trash.
Yeah, and you even said you played very little of it, and I don't qualify that as enough to make a decision. Unlike the other ones you talked about up here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just gonna have to put this one on undecided. There's someone that probably played that would be like, oh, it was great. But we're not talking to one of those people.
Well, guys, if you think it was great, let us know in the comments. We could come back to these tier lists and reorganize it. But this is from our perspective, and some of our opinions may be unpopular and some may be popular.
Yeah. And up next, we have WWF Super WrestleMania for the Super NES.
It was a great game.
Yeah.
Gameplay was still kind of clunky.
Yep.
But the visual graphics were amazing for the time.
Yeah, because this was a step up from arcade era into home console era.
Yes.
So how would you describe, the pulling off a move compared to the arcade games?
It was a lot easier. Well, everyone knows arcade was a lot harder to do their moves because you have to button mash.
Yep.
And use the joystick.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I know with these games, it's like, oh yeah, it was pretty much an arcade style ladder to be declared their champion or whatever, or the champion, whatever back then. They didn't have anything like we got now.
Yeah.
So where would you put? And I have very little experience or none at all with that one. So where would you put that one personally?
Like I said, I'd put it in great.
Yeah, just take your word for it. I'll put that in great because you recommend it. Now we got Steel Cage Challenge. The first
Steel Cage challenge was actually a challenge.
The first WWE or WWF game to have the steel cage match in it. Something that we take for granted today.
Like you said, it's the first one that had the steel cage, which kind of made the gameplay a little bit clunky. The stuff was but altogether, it was actually a really great game.
Yeah, I heard about this and seen some gameplay on it. I'm just like, it looks like a tough game to do.
If they tried to do it nowadays,
people just complain about. I don't think
it would live up to what it would have been in people's memories from back then.
Yeah, but where would you put this?
At the end of great, because it was great and good.
Oh yeah, and then now we finally get to one that I am familiar with, and that's the WWF Royal Rumble game that was released in '93. Yeah, that was the first wrestling game I ever played in the first for the Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Super NES. God damn, I'm fucking getting tongue twisted.
Your brain is malfunctioning, isn't it?
Just like you pronouncing 11.
Go fuck yourself.
But yeah, this was the first game to introduce the Royal Rumble concept, Royal Rumble match to a video game. The controls were like alright, but they weren't the greatest at the time. But hey, this was my go-to back then, when I was like a kid. Kind of like how 2K is today. Right?
Yes.
And yeah, I remember freaking knocking down the referee and using a chair in matches. I was a cheater. In these games.
You were.
And even back then, you still
was a perfect person. I played by the rules.
You still no-sold back then. But I'm just saying, just for my is it a good game that'll hold up today? No, but for nostalgia reasons, I would have to put this one in Hall of Fame.
Well, even if they tried to make some of these older games for nowadays, they really wouldn't hold up because of everything that's going on in all parts.
So I'm pretty sure you played the Royal Rumble game on Super NES back in the day, or heard about it, or played at a friend's house, whatever it was. What's your thoughts on this one?
I thought it was a good game.
Yeah. So I would say for me, just for nostalgia reasons, knowing it was the first WWE game I actually played way back when my age was in single digits, I'd have to freaking put that under Hall of Fame. To be honest, where would you put it?
I'd put it in great. I wouldn't say it'd be Hall of Fame. Like I said, this could be controversy. A lot of people could friggin' do backlash on me for this and literally say, "Are you fucking dumb?" But I didn't think it was Hall of Fame worthy. It wasn't all that great, but it was great to good. So
I'll compromise then. I'll just put it in front of great here, like it's teetering for me. Because was it the best game at this point? No. Was there way better games that came out afterwards? Obviously. Right?
Yes.
So
pretty soon you'll be seeing what my Hall of Fame picks are.
I'd probably agree with most of your picks, knowing my experience with the same games, probably.
Yes.
So now we got Rage in the Cage for the Sega. I have no experience with this one either.
Hall of Fame.
And what makes you say that?
Rage in the Cage was a very great game. Visually, it would not keep up with what it is.
Well, obviously you can't compare the graphics of any of these old games from the 90s to today. None of them would hold up, so that's not really a fair comparison.
But this where you could use weapons, you could actually kind of design the cage that you want it to be.
Yep. And, it was a product for its time. I guess that's the first Hall of Fame one, I guess.
Yeah.
So, does it hold up today?
The movement was a little bit more clunky, but it still was decent enough where you could actually use the move better.
Yeah. Does it hold up to today? No. But was it a banger back in its day? Probably. I never played it, but you have. All right.
Well, I played on most of all these consoles. I grew up with most of these consoles.
Now we have King of the Ring, the video game.
King of the Ring.
I think this was the first one to have the King of the Ring tournament in it. Back in the Super NES days.
Yes, it had the King of the Ring.
Yep. No, I really have no experience with this one either, so if you were to ask me, it'd be undecided. I don't have experience with it, but what about you? Do you even remember this from when you were a kid? Or do you too say undecided?
It's the end of good, because the gameplay was decent. It had its faults.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know for sure. For me, it'd be another undecided one, but I'll just put it there.
You can put it on undecided if you want. You don't always have to take my word for it. You can...
For me, I just put this under undecided. I mean, you even say yourself, you don't have a whole lot of experience like these ones up here.
Yes.
And then we got freaking Raw is War up here. Then I believe was released in 96 or 97. I'm not totally sure. Or something.
I think it was towards the middle of 97.
Yeah.
But don't take my word on it, guys. You can look it up as well.
Could have been 96. I don't know. I think it was 96 because we haven't talked about In Your House yet, and that was released in 96. 96, 97.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was the first WWF Raw game named after their Monday night show. I really don't have any experience with this one either. Do you? Honestly, the first Raw game?
Not too much. I'd put it on undecided.
Yeah, we're not talking about Warzone or anything like, or the Raw games for the Xbox. We'll get to those when we get to those. Right?
Yeah.
And I know it's not fair to put a whole lot in undecided right now, but I really have no experience with these games down here. All right?
Well, like I said, guys, if you guys want to put your comments in and let us know from your guys' perspective of what should go where, just let us know.
Now we got WCW Super Brawl, the video game that was released, I believe, in 95. I think the WWE Raw game was also released in 95, and that we just talked about, and that was also a bad time for the company, as we know.
Yeah.
And according to some people who talk about this, they say this one was actually a pretty good game. But
it was a decent game. I put it in an all right.
Yeah, I don't have any experience with it here. Maybe I have some, I just don't remember it. Maybe I played at a cousin's house or something way back in the day, but I'm just going to have to put this one on the ass end of all right. But what's your thoughts, like gameplay-wise, if you remember any of this?
The gameplay was amazing. Visual effects were amazing. This was also where you could see Hulk Hogan more. You could you could actually catch his theme song.
Yeah. Yeah, so now we go to, it's like WrestleMania, the arcade game, the one that was released in 95. Right before the In Your House game.
don't remember if I played that one too much.
Me, I haven't played it at all. I mean, I've seen videos on it, but, that's not like that's not the same as the real experience with it.
Yeah.
And from the videos I've seen, I would just say it's all right, but then again, I don't have experience with this personally. I mean, we'll get into more in-depth discussions soon enough, right?
Yes.
For me, I would just have to put this one on undecided. I don't know. I haven't played it that much. Maybe I did, but I don't remember. You even said yourself you haven't played it a whole lot either. Then we have In Your House. God damn, this was comedy at its best. Imagine a video game where the Undertaker actually hits you with an actual tombstone. That's what freaking In Your House was with all that shenanigans.
Yes.
As we know, right?
Well, guys, this may be an unpopular opinion.
It was cartoony.
Hall of Fame.
It was cartoony, and it was different compared to the other games that came before it and since.
Yes.
I mean, shit, and every superstar had their, own freaking, arena area decked out to them in the game, too, from what I saw. Yeah. I'm like, they need to bring that back in a modern day for a game that's not so serious and realistic. Right?
Yeah.
Personally, I never played it, but you said you have, and you were like, unpopular opinion, Hall of Fame, where would you put it in the Hall of Fame? Behind the cage game or before it?
Right behind the cage.
Unpopular opinion, I'm just going to have to go with it, because if we went with mine, it'd be undecided. At least there's a placement for you who has experience with it.
It was very cartoony. The characters were designed that way because they were kind of making a little bit of fun here and there. Wrestlers. But they did have very good designs, though.
Yeah, and then up next we have WCW versus the World video game for the original PlayStation. I played it before, I think, a long time ago, and what I remember, I think the gameplay was all right. It wasn't the greatest, in my opinion, but it wasn't like trash material. We'll get to those when we get to those.
It was decent, and I'd say good.
Yeah. And yeah, it had the WCW stars at the time. I mean, I believe this was the WCW game that debuted the Crow version of Sting.
Yes.
So, from what I know, I put it in good. Oh yeah, and then we have WCW versus NWO Revenge, or World Tour here. All right.
Yeah.
I also played that one. I thought it was pretty good too. So at the time, the gameplay was smooth on it. Everything was great on it. I mean, there really wasn't no faults that I remember seeing. And that roster was pretty huge, right?
I'd say it's on the verge of great. They could have done a little bit better on the design.
Yep.
But for their first ECW, NWO,
you mean
WCW and NWO game, it was decent enough.
So for its time, I would probably put it probably about there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a dick. I ain't gonna put games that I don't know under trash, okay, or whatever. Now we have WCW Nitro, a game that I don't remember playing a whole lot, and if I did, I don't remember it.
It was all right.
And how would you compare the gameplay to Nitro to NWO World, or the World WCW NWO World Tour game, its predecessor?
Well, if I'm just doing that, then I'd put it in great right before it. Yeah. Because it literally had a lot more superstars. It had people that were coming from WCW to Raw.
Or to Nitro.
Oh, to Nitro.
From WWF to WCW at that point.
Yes.
With an updated roster, right?
Yes.
And how was the gameplay, the moves, and everything you could do on there? If you remember.
Gameplay was decent enough. It was a lot smoother.
Yep.
So at this point, they were getting better and better at designing the move and all the stuff that they were doing.
But, you know, I don't really have experience with it, but I'll still put it under great because of your experience, but I'll put it behind the NWO, the World Tour game. To be fair. Right?
Yeah.
Now we got WWF Warzone, possibly a game that many say is clunky at best, hard to pull off friggin' moves. You got to press like a button combo just to get your finisher across. And overall, they say they had the championship pyramid mode on here, and well, they didn't really do anything, but you know the videos were decent, funny to watch. And ironically, Bret Hart was in Warzone, and this came out literally after he got screwed and left the company.
I keep getting screwed.
But you know, nostalgia is a powerful thing. It can make you think that a crappy game is really a good game when it's really a crappy game still.
I'd say it was all right because it wasn't really trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say all right.
For me, I got a little bit of experience with this one as well. I say it's okay. I say it's all right as well. Probably at the top of all right here.
Yeah.
In graphical wise, it was all right for the time period. I think that's where we got those freaking memes from today. Oh, the graphics look so realistic. The graphics, and it's just, you know, blocky character.
Yeah, well, all of them were blocky characters, but...
Yep. And now we have WCW NWO Revenge. I believe that came out in 99. Right. Or 98 or 99. So if we're going to compare, it would be the WCW games we just talked about up here.
Yes.
And I played a little bit of this when I was a kid too, and I thought the gameplay was all right. Really wasn't. I didn't really notice. It really wasn't that much different than World Tour, if I'm being honest. Right. In my opinion, but you know, I could be wrong. It's been such a long time since I played that too.
I'd put it in all right or good.
Yeah, I'll make it do it. I'll fucking put it right here at the end of good here. Teetering. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the controls on there was better than Warzone. That's for sure. I hear that a lot too.
Yes.
And now we have WWF Attitude released in 99. This was the last WWE game to freaking have Owen Hart as a character in it. This was game released after his passing. Where they did the memorial.
They decided they wanted to take it out, but they wanted to leave him in there. But a bunch of people were saying that they wanted to leave him in there to honor his legacy.
And yes, the Blue Blazer character that was supposed to be in this game also got scrapped for obvious reasons. And right when you boot up the game, it says dedicated to Owen Hart at the start.
Yes.
And this would be the last WWE game that Owen Hart would WWE game that Owen Hart would be a part of until years later in the modern day when community creations were a thing. And people still made that character anyway, but unofficially. Right?
Yes, he was a nugget.
No, he wasn't.
He was a nugget.
No, he wasn't, and you know it.
He was a nugget.
I would say something else, but I'm not going to. But according to what I seen, they said with, from what I know, Attitude's gameplay was better than Warzone's. From what I know, but not by much.
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, they wanted to put the Blue Blazer as an alternate skin for him in the game.
But they decided not to for obvious reasons. We know why that is.
For obvious reasons and potential lawsuits from his family, which
they were already facing one at the time anyway.
Yes.
They didn't want to add to the fire pretty much with their game release.
Yes.
So I would just say this one is, and from my experience, which is there's a little bit of it, from what I remember, it was all right. It was good. Gameplay was good. It was all, in my opinion, but it can be clunky at times too. I mean, any of these games can be. Like the AI.
Well, I put it in front of Warzone and all right.
I would do that as well. Screw it. I ain't gonna argue with that. That's probably where I was heading anyway. Now we have WCW Thunder. I have no experience with this original PlayStation game.
It was trash.
So what makes you say that? I realized at the time I was a WWE kid growing up, so I have little to no experience with these WCW games.
Well, imagine the same thing as Warzone, but you had to do it twice as much just to do moves.
That's what you experienced playing this as a kid?
Yes.
And you're like, why is everything so convoluted here? So you're saying Thunder is the first trash one, but what other things make it bad that you've seen?
Graphics design. It was glitchy. It would freeze.
Yeah. And Lord knows, I think you'll have experience with some of these other ones too coming up that I never played from the 2000s. You know the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Thunder. Fuck. There's probably some people be like, Thunder was good, but yeah. Oh, yeah.
From my perspective, it was trash, guys.
Oh, yeah, and Backstage Mayhem. We don't even need to discuss it. But we know that was your favorite game, so why don't we talk about how it's shit?
No. Game.
Okay, fine. Fine. Okay, fine. From what I heard, and I played this as a kid, and even back then, I thought this was shit or garbage. Imagine a wrestling game, but with no wrestling arena, no ring. All you have to fight is backstage only. That's what that was. It flopped.
Yes, but it had your favorite group the right to censor.
Wait a minute, this is WCW Mayhem, not Backstage Assault. That's the next one gonna fuck me. Okay, Mayhem. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? I just noticed Backstage Assault's right here, not here. What the hell, was I jumping the gun too early?
Yes, you were jumping the gun way too fucking early.
Fine. What's your thoughts on Mayhem? Sorry, my bad.
Mayhem was actually a decent game.
From what you remember, I really have no experience. Like I said, I was a WWE kid.
I would put it in good.
You were when I started talking, the end of good?
Yes.
When I started talking about that, you were thinking to yourself, let's see how long it takes before he notices.
Exactly.
Because you're an asshole. Yeah, like, let him revel in his own failure.
Let him revel in his own idiocy.
Okay, WrestleMania 2000. I heard this one was actually a pretty good game. Hell, even Frank would say it was good.
WrestleMania 2000 was WWE's or WWF's, because they were in the middle of transitioning, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean, they would have one more big PlayStation release after WrestleMania.
Yes, but it was one of their
but this one was
great
for
designs and great gameplay.
And I think this one was for the GameCube at that point, or not GameCube, the other one. The other one that it's, you know what I'm talking about. It's like Super NES, but it's a different console.
Yes.
Whatever that one was. It this N64?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it was. God, I'm having brain fade. Most people have the whole WrestleMania 2000 in high regard, so including Frank, and I've seen gameplay and it looks smooth to me for the time. Your thoughts on it? Because I'm pretty sure you played it before.
Yes, like I was saying, honestly, this may be a bad idea or a bad opinion to most people. I'd put it in Hall of Fame just because it had freaking the Nation of Domination. You could play as Farouk. You could play as Karma Mustafa, D'Lo Brown, Mark Henry, pre-sexual chocolate. Mark Henry, by the way.
It's funny you had to be specific and say that. But, you know,
game design, great. Movement, clunky, but it was expected because it was where they were transitioning from other consoles to the 64.
Yeah. So, and I played it, I dabbled in it a little bit back in the day, and now with Game Simulator, I still say it runs smoothly, but, you know, it's to be expected that it's, like you said, clunky controls sometimes, but it's workable.
Yes.
So I'm sorry I'm going to have to put it at top of Hall of Fame for now, even though there'd be games that come out better than that.
No, it's the shitty game.
Okay, enough said. Enough said. At least I got that one done. So Backstage Assault.
Now you can go on your rampage.
Backstage Assault. Never played it, but I've seen gameplay of it. When I look at that and think to myself, that's garbage. Maybe I did play it a little bit as a kid. I just don't know.
Unfortunately, I was one of the people that played it.
Yeah, imagine a pro wrestling game. No ring, no arena, no none. All you have is just backstaging. That's it.
Well,
it was stripped bare in the
fucking that it was backstage because it literally says Backstage Assault.
And the gameplay was freaking shitty.
Honestly, I had the same thought about like a bunch of people like, oh, it's not going to be just backstage. You can actually brawl around the arena. No, you can't brawl around the arena. You're literally stuck in one backstage area.
And you're like, well, this sucks. Sorry, if they tried making a current game like that today, it would fall right on its ass.
Yes.
Because we expect too much of the majority. As a matter of fact, they need to bring back the backstage wrestling in current games.
They do.
And I'm talking going from the arena to back and everything else, not just the wide open space and that's it. As we know. And the only way you can win is by knockout. With these hardcore matches backstage and in by pinfall too, you know. Right?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, you can have like a false entry match and still go to the back and win by pinfall. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Like it was with 2K20 or 22 last time they did that.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm talking about. Anyway. So yeah, most people would agree that Backstage Assault was shit this time. Yes, I made sure to double check that.
So even though he wants to put it in the Hall of Fame, guys, don't let him fool you. I was like, I'm nuts.
Yeah, I'll put Backstage Assault in Hall of Fame as soon as you shave that mustache off. See, so there's your answer. I'm not doing it. Because that's when I lose my mind. So now we have ECW's game. What was this? Anarchy Rules, or that's another one? It's one that came before Anarchy Rules here. I don't remember the subtitles of it. I was scrolling through this shit quickly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I would say, I guess, all right. It was decently designed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this was ECW Hardcore Wrestling. The first one, yes.
Yeah.
Let's just... Okay, fine. When it comes to this, just think of Backstage Assault, but it actually has rings in arenas then. Which made it, by default, better than Backstage Assault.
Yes.
And of course, this was an ECW game, so you know it's going to be a hardcore fucking game anyway. Weapons galore. Now, your thoughts on this?
Putting a table was a pain in the ass, though.
What?
Putting a table up was a pain in the ass.
Oh, I bet it was. But yeah, your thoughts on that one. Where would you rank it?
I'd put it in all right.
Okay. Would you say it's better than Warzone or nah?
Better than Warzone.
Now we go to Anarchy Rules down here, the second and last ECW game. Under that, when that promotion actually existed.
Yeah, you could actually have a Singapore cane match.
Yes. And I know the gameplay was just as smooth as the first one, but it was also violent too, with weapons galore. Right.
This one, the gameplay and the movement was actually smoother.
Yeah.
So I would put it in good, just because that you could actually do different matches. You can do hardcore match. You had the Singapore match.
Now, where would you
do
put
a Singapore on a pole match?
Yeah, and I played a little bit of this. Maybe I don't remember, but from what I remember of it, like briefly, it was all right. But where would you put it in the good category?
I'd put it right in the middle of all right, of good.
So about there.
Yes.
Oh, and now we have the first ever WWF SmackDown game, a freaking game that kicked off a whole freaking series. Moving on. But no, seriously, what makes freaking SmackDown so good, in your opinion, the first game for PlayStation? SmackDown game for PlayStation.
Well, it was a good game. Movement was great. You could actually play as past superstars.
Yep.
You could also actually hear a lot more of their entrance music than you did in the past.
Yes.
When they weren't as freaking blocky.
The graphics were blocky. Yeah, but that was great graphics back in 99, 2000. Right?
Yes.
But yeah, I played some of it growing up, man. Freaking, it was... I enjoyed the gameplay. I thought it played smooth. The controls were actually good, where I was actually able to handle back then. And of course, the story was... And you know what? Story mode, championship mode was fine. Whatever. It was what it is. It's a product of its time.
Yeah.
Yeah, now here we go. We have the Royal Rumble for the Dreamcast, I believe. I'm really undecided on this one. I never played it.
I don't remember if I played that one for the Dreamcast.
We'll put it right here then. Right?
Yeah.
Now we got SmackDown 2.
I
don't know where.
Honestly,
I've played this one before, but to me, it's not as good as the original, but it's all right. I mean, hell, I think. Wasn't it SmackDown 2 that had that crazy ass casket match where you can just pick it up like it was nothing?
Yes.
And then hit people with it and chuck and yeet it and throw it at people?
Yes.
And it was freaking insane and crazy. And of course, they also, I believe this one had that ladder match problem where two characters would just dangle of it and the match would never end.
Yes.
Either that or that was on Just Bring It. I don't remember, but I remember hearing that on one of these two games.
I think it was SmackDown 2.
Could have been Just Bring It. I think SmackDown 2 at the championship was waving all around the ring where that was it.
Yeah.
Above the ring, and it was easy. I think Just Bring It had the freaking dang shit where you and your opponent just took days up there and that was it. Right?
Probably.
No, I wouldn't. I don't know if I would rank SmackDown 2 as Hall of Fame, but I would rank it as great. Like on top of great here. Because I thought the gameplay was on point here with this one, but I'll hear your opinion on this.
I'd put it at the end of great, because it wasn't great. It wasn't really... It was more good than great.
Yep.
But for compromising reasons, I just put it at the end of great.
Yep. Yeah, there we go. WF No Mercy for the N64. They're going to hate me. Everyone's going to hate me.
There's no fucking way that people can say
people are going to hate me.
Hall of Fame.
People were going to put hate on me if I put it anywhere less than that. At top
like
Hall
I'm
of Fame
saying,
for now.
there is no fucking way it goes lower than Hall of Fame. No way.
But even though it's blatantly obvious that's where it goes, we got to discuss it. I'm pretty sure you had a lot more experience playing that than me.
No Mercy was fucking fun.
And
dude, you actually got to do a No Mercy match. You literally got to do... It had violence. You actually got to see blood.
In it, yes. And here's one I heard about that No Mercy had that is why it's so damn heavily praised. Something that we don't even have in the modern game, and that's total freedom of customization.
Yes.
Of the superstars in the game. And what I mean by that is not only you... I mean, yeah, you can... In the current games, you can edit out the attires of the superstars just like you can in No Mercy there, but what I mean by is total control is you can edit their hairstyle, remove their mask, do all that shit. Make them look more modernized. Like back in No Mercy, it was released in 2000. If you wanted to take Kurt Angle's hair off and make it bald, which he would be in real life later on, you could do that. You know, they need to bring shit like that.
In that match, they actually had the hair versus hair man.
Or on No Mercy, if you wanted to, I don't know, take Kane's mask off and make him look the more like the unmasked Kane of the mid-2000s, you could do that back then.
Yes.
Right? Or if you just wanted The Undertaker to wear a fucking frilly-ass bright pink attire for whatever reason, because you're weird, you can actually do that. Right?
Yeah.
While sporting a mohawk, I don't know why you would. I'm just saying. And you can also...
That was fucking awesome.
Or if you wanted to have Trish Stratus come out with a T-Rex head on for some fucking reason, you can actually do that. They need to bring that goofiness...
No clothes on at all.
Yeah, you need to bring that... They need to bring that goofiness of customization in modern games today. Right? I believe, and I feel it. Why, and what's another reason why No Mercy is so praised that you know of? You have experience with the game. With it.
Well, gameplay-wise, fucking phenomenal.
Yep.
It also had a storyline.
Yeah, storyline, yeah.
So you could actually pick your character and go through their story.
Yes. And yeah, and I see No Mercy is always high praise. It's always like the top of people's list when they think of freaking wrestling games and tier ranking and listing them in top 10s lists or 20 lists and shit like that. And let me tell you something. There was no way I was going to put No Mercy any lower than Hall of Fame, because if I did, oh goddamn, everyone would have their torch and pitchforks out at me. Hell, you'd be the first one leading the line. At that point, am I right?
You just see a whole lot. You're just gonna call them like, you better come outside. You're like, why?
It's because you put No Mercy under great. We do not accept that.
Exactly. If you put it in trash, people would rage.
People would riot the streets and look for my ass. And now moving on, we got SmackDown, Just Bring It.
Just Bring It, I would put in great, because it did have its moments. Except the title matches. Those kind of sucked.
Yeah. Yeah, they kind of sucked. This...
I can hear that sarcasm in your voice.
This ranking is really good. Yes, I'm taking the piss out of the fucking commentary. You cannot forget that commentary from Just Bring It.
I know.
It's like Michael Cole and Taz were just reading lines with no expression whatsoever. You know I was being sarcastic with that. You know, anyone who's ever played that game knows how great of a sound commentary track that was. Even you're busting up just thinking about it.
It was funny, yes.
Yes, it was funny, and it will deserve its ranking.
It was more like freaking JR's from when they were messing with him in remember our review with the
Yes,
what was it that we picked?
It sounded like fucking Buried Alive Jim Ross here from that event, Buried Alive event, In Your House event.
Yes.
Yes.
Where they were messing with his mic and shit, where they're going, oh, I can't work under these conditions.
Yes, I would rank freaking Just Bring It under good. I'm pretty sure you will agree with me.
Stop speaking like that.
Just for the commentary alone, I'm putting it under top of great. You can't forget that, but also there's some cons to it. Like I mentioned, freaking you do a ladder match, you and your fucking friend or opponent could just be hanging there for days. I heard a story where a couple of friends did a freaking ladder match back when this game was popularized. YouTuber now. They went out in town, went about, rode around town, rode their bikes all over, came back to their house. Friends play 5 hours later, their character's still dangling there. Obviously, something's wrong here.
It had its moments.
Like that. Right?
Yes.
But yeah, that freaking commentary track for that game sold me. Everyone remembers it. Imagine if we spoke like that every day. We would just get sick of each other talking.
Exactly.
Like, I couldn't imagine like calling you on the phone and be like, hey bro, how was your day?
Bitch, stop talking like that. I'll slap you. I'll slap the shit out of you.
That would really hurt. Okay, I'm fucking done. But yeah, you would go back and play that just to listen to the commentary. You know you would.
Yes, I would.
Hey. But yeah, gameplay was alright. But, you know, weird thing is, Fred Durst was a freaking goddamn guest character on there. Only because in order for them to use his theme song "Rolling for the Undertaker," he wanted to be a friggin' person in the game too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was interesting. Now we have WWE Raw. I think this was the first freaking game under the WWE banner. WWE Raw for the Xbox, which I hate to say, based on what I know about it, it sucked.
It was trash.
Like, the gameplay was fine, but it only had one arena, which was the Raw arena only.
Yes, it was trash.
And the camera was seriously zoomed in. It looked like you guys were small wrestling in a giant ring. You Xbox players back then had it bad compared to PlayStation players.
But it's in trash where it belongs.
But anyway, your thoughts on the gameplay of this, because you have more experience. You probably grew up with Xbox too.
Garbage. Enough said. Put it in trash where it belongs.
Is it worse than Thunder and Backstage Assault, though?
Better than Backstage Assault.
So where do you want it? In the middle?
I'd put it in front of Backstage Assault because it was better than that.
Actually, this is the top of trash, so Backstage Assault would be in the top of trash.
Yeah, right in the middle.
I mean, I heard about some of the crap you Xbox players from the early 2000s had to go through, and I'm like, I feel sorry for you guys.
Yeah.
You had the people on PlayStation living like kings like I did with the Here Comes the Pain series, and you had to deal with crap like Raw and Day of Reckoning and WrestleMania 21. Oh, God, that one was shit. Right?
Well, Reckoning wasn't that bad.
And here we have WrestleMania 18 also for the GameCube. Which, this was the only WWE game that had freaking all 3 original members of the NWO on there. You know, before they all became legends, obviously.
Yeah.
Of course, pulling off a freaking finisher, you had to do like a certain combo or button mash at the right time to do it. When that meter was full. Right?
Again, this may be controversy. Hall of Fame.
But I know a lot of people would praise that same thought like you would. I would just put it behind WrestleMania 2000. I have some experience. Graphically, it looked good. All right?
Yeah.
And yeah, the gameplay wise, after a while, when you get used to the controllers, it becomes easy, but still, it's just nothing that I would go back to in the modern day, but visually, it looks good. I mean, the closest I would get to watching WrestleMania 18, the video game, is just YouTube videos these days. Right?
Yeah.
Now we got SmackDown Shut Your Mouth. Now, I actually like this one because, you know, the season mode, you can actually free roam in the back with your character and go to anywhere you want to. All over the place and encounter characters.
Unpopular opinion, Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and the gameplay was smooth. The matches were great. There was no blood.
The characters were well designed. You didn't have the button mash.
Yeah, and that's when they introduced, I believe, and you know, you could use the finisher pressing L1 when it pops up when you have a stored finisher.
Yes.
So yeah, I honestly think in the season mode I thought was good as well. Gameplay wise, it was great. Characters in the game were spot on to the time period. I mean, the only nitpick I had with Shut Your Mouth and Scott Hall wasn't it, because this was after the plane ride from hell where he got fired, but that's just nitpicking at this point, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, Shut Your Mouth also had the match in story mode where if you pick Kurt Angle, you'd be the one with hair, but you would end up getting that head shaved ears. Right?
Yep.
So, unpopular opinion, I know, but I'm just going to have to put it right next to No Mercy up here. For now.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. And now we go to one that I don't think is going to be Hall of Fame worthy. As a matter of fact, I really wasn't a big fan of this one. And yes, I'm talking about the WWE meets Twisted Metal game. Yes, Crash Hour. I know they were trying to do something different, but in my opinion, it just didn't work. No, imagine your thoughts back then. You seen that freaking game being advertised. What would you think? You'd be like, what the hell's this? Would it intrigue some interest or not?
It would intrigue some interest, but not too much to where you want to keep playing.
And I have some experience with this one, and even I didn't really get into it back then. Yes, I get it. It's like Twisted Metal with cars. You blow your opponents up in vehicles in these unique car stages, but I just didn't care for it.
Brad.
I'm just going to put at the end of trash, because at least the other ones that are in trash were real wrestling games. That one kind of was not. All right? I do understand. I understand, something different, like we said during the MK tier list ranking, but that one just didn't work for me. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, God, and I feel sorry for you, because now we have another Xbox exclusive game, Raw 2. I heard this one was slightly better than the first one. Right?
Yes. Not by much.
Yeah, so your thoughts on Raw 2, considering this one did come out in 2003?
Yes, you did get to play as Goldberg.
Yeah. And I feel sorry for you guys, because you guys had Raw 2 and WrestleMania 19. Also, the PlayStation, we had what was arguably one of the greatest games ever. And we'll get to that when we get to that here in a little bit.
I'd put it in all right. The gameplay was decent enough.
Yep. Like, where would you put it in all right? About there.
Yeah.
And then we got WrestleMania 19. I believe this one was for the GameCube. And
WrestleMania 19, that one was decent enough.
The story mode, though, that was unique. You're not even a wrestler in the story mode, wrestling other people. You're trying to sabotage WrestleMania 19 from even happening.
Exactly.
And you got to get your timing down, and you slip up, you're dead. And you got to go around beating up innocent construction workers and road workers and police and everything like that.
Yeah.
Specifically, one freaking thing that kept pissing people off, you had to keep swinging from chains all the time, and even getting the timing on that was freaking like a bitch.
Yeah.
Other than that, your thoughts on WrestleMania 19's gameplay? Like matches-wise and everything else.
The matches were decent enough. Besides swinging from chains that looked like freaking some questionable things.
Yeah. No, it's like, and the roster size, I'm pretty sure it was decent.
Yes.
Oh, God. And, so you had a majority to play with there, but I don't know. Where would you rank? Where would you rank WrestleMania 19, the video game?
I'd put it all right.
God. Better than Raw 2, Warzone, not. Where would you put it?
That's the end of all right.
What, like there?
Yeah.
Ugh. Oh, now we got SmackDown. Here comes the pain. Fight me. It's on top of Hall of Fame. Right. It's on the same level as No Mercy. So fight me on that one. Right. You knew I was going to do that. Right. But now we got to talk about it. Season mode. Banger. Replayable. The replayability is on point. Controls.
Well, you're going to play as every brand.
Yeah, controls seem great. And oh yeah, in the season mode, yeah, they may have taken away the roaming around, but you can actually go into the locker room and look at who's there, pick up backstage fights, friggin' decide what to show your characters on immediately, right?
Yeah, and even if you lost the title, you'd still have an opportunity to go back and get it again.
Yes. Storylines on there, great. Friggin', it's everything that a wrestling game needed to be back then. And of course, the craziness of backstage brawling, though. Yeah, I failed to mention this, but in SmackDown Shut Your Mouth, you can jump off the freaking goddamn SmackDown fist.
Yes.
Which obviously in real life would kill a person.
You could throw them off.
But in SmackDown, here comes Maine. They took the goofiness freaking to a whole new level. You unlock the freaking goddamn Plaza Arena back there, backstage back there. You can jump off a helicopter onto your opponent and chuck them off a building. Yeah. Right? Which obviously, if anyone had did that in real life, they'd be dead. Deader than Mick Foley. It was fun because I had to
jump off the freaking giant ass fist.
So yeah, freaking it's like, here comes the pain. I'm sorry, fight me. It's on top of Hall of Fame. And gameplay wise, yeah, it may be difficult to go back to, but once you get the hang of it, smooth as hell too. And everything else. The matches really weren't realistic at this point. It still had that fast arcade move gameplay, but that's exactly what I need. We need something like that in the modern day.
Yeah.
But your personal experience with Here Comes the Pain.
I like the story mode. The exhibition mode was good. Yeah. I liked how you could actually go from brand to brand.
Yeah.
You even got to play as the female wrestlers, which were freaking fun as hell.
Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, Here Comes the Pain was the first game that made us freaking experience bra and panty matches, something that would never fly today.
Yes, they would.
No, I wouldn't. You freaking horn dog.
Fight me on it, bitch.
I will. After I put No Mercy in trash. It's like, I will after I put No Mercy in trash. Okay, that's freaking suicide.
I dare you.
You know how many people I'd piss off if I actually did that? Everyone.
I dare you to try to move No Mercy from Hall of.
Yeah, even if I move it one down, that's reactions. That would be opening the door for straight up murder. So nope. Now we have Day of Reckoning for the Xbox, I believe.
Day of Reckoning was actually a decent game.
I don't think it was as good as Here Comes the Pain, though. You guys had it rough.
Right? Yeah, I just put it in good. Like the gameplay was decent enough. The roster size decent enough
for the time.
You actually got to play as Diesel or Kevin Nash.
Yeah, and all the other legends there.
You got to play as Booker T.
Oh, yeah, and I also
Unfortunately, you got to play as Terry.
Oh, yeah, and I forgot to mention Here Comes the Pain was also the first WWE game to actually introduce legends. Characters, so there you go. All right. They have regular following.
You got to play as Eddie.
So, yeah, and I don't really, I wasn't an Xbox guy at this time, so I have no experience with Day of Reckoning. Heard about it, and I've seen videos on it recently.
I put it in the middle of good.
So, right about, what, there?
Yeah.
Oh, now we got the first ever SmackDown versus Raw game. What is people see is Here Comes the Pain's predecessor. Or, the one that came after it.
Raw versus SmackDown versus Raw,
the original one, and everyone remembers the soundtrack.
Which would be a lot of people do not like this game.
Everyone remembers the soundtrack to it, though.
I put it in Hall of Fame.
Me personally, I played this game several times. I've done the season mode several times with different characters. I thought it was a freaking banger of a game, too, honestly. I thought the gameplay was alright. Yeah, it was kind of slow and they introduced new stuff, but video games evolve. That's what this one did, from the SmackDown series to the SmackDown vs. Raw series. Alright?
Yeah.
Do I believe it's as good as freaking Here Comes the Pain and No Mercy and Shut Your Mouth? No. But do I believe it's like trash? No. Alright? Honestly, I would probably, in my personal opinion, unpopular opinion, to those who like WrestleMania 2000 and WrestleMania 18, I'd put it here. Next to the first SmackDown game under Hall of Fame tier. Right?
Yeah.
And now we have, oh god damn, I feel sorry. I felt sorry for you guys. Freaking, you got WrestleMania 21. Which I heard in some people's freaking console, the season mode didn't even fucking work, and it made your guys' console smoke and break.
Put it in trash now.
I'm putting it above Backstage Assault, because at least Backstage Assault never made anyone's console start malfunctioning.
Yeah, it made the Xbox look fucking grenade.
Yeah, and I heard it was shit. The freaking season mode didn't even work. It was a freaking
time bomb.
I heard the season mode didn't even work. I heard the gameplay was decent if it actually fucking worked half the time.
The season mode worked, but half the shit didn't want to fucking work.
Yeah, and there was so
you try to do a move, you're stuck like this.
And then it had a constant freezing error in the middle of matches, from what I know.
Yeah, you're literally fucking, or when you do the get and move, you're literally stuck like this. If you're being John Cena, you're literally stuck.
You're like, God damn it! How many times?
Or Randy Orton.
I mean, how many times did you play WrestleMania 21 until you were just like, fuck it, I'm done. I'm never playing this again. About 3 times. Ugh. I felt sorry for you. Us on the PlayStation, we were living like kings with Here Comes the Pain and SmackDown vs. Raw, and you had WrestleMania 21, the shittiest of them all. Yeah. And you look at me, you're like, fuck you, PlayStation era guys. Right? But yeah, WrestleMania 21, yeah, that's shit, man. It could have been better if it wasn't for all that crap. Right?
Yeah.
Now we go to another, I think it was an Xbox exclusive game, Day of Reckoning 2.
Reckoning 2 was actually a great game, so
I'm pretty sure from what I heard.
More you could actually do. They had backstage involvement. It had more where you could interact with the freaking managers. You could actually steal them from other superstars.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure you would probably rank this leagues above WrestleMania 21.
Yes.
What about story mode wise? Story
mode was great graphically. I think it might have lived up to today.
Yeah. So that being said,
like I said, this may be controversial to a lot of people because a lot of people didn't like the game.
Yeah.
But I put it in great.
I'll just say I never played the Xbox back then. I was a straight up PlayStation guy playing on the SmackDown vs. Raw series I did. So I'm just going to take your word.
To go potty.
I would put this. You said it's a controversial decision, but put this at the end of great. Now we got to put out the end of great here. So next we got SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, released in 2005.
SmackDown versus Raw 2006 was.
I like the freaking SmackDown storyline of who ran over Teddy Long, though. That they started only for the reveal to be your character.
Yeah.
And then the Raw one, I know that was all over the place, but in the end, you still won the championship in the main event of WrestleMania during that story mode, season mode, right?
Well, you did the same thing in all the season mode, but instead of them doing a runover scene, you basically just attack the GM and they try to find out who did it. And in the end, it's you.
I mean,
basically turning heel.
And for all your freaking horn dogs, SmackDown vs. Raw 6 had that fulfill your fantasy bullshit. That was also shit. Something you'll never see in a modern day game.
It was great.
But yeah, gameplay wise, I thought it was good. Freaking controls were great. Freaking the arenas were on point here. Matches were good. The season mode was a banger. But honestly, I wouldn't put it in Hall of Fame quite, but I would put it maybe at top of great here.
Yes.
One I believe is Hall of Fame worthy is the next one we're going to talk about, and that's SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. The next year's following year's game, if I remember correctly. Gameplay was smooth. You could wrestle. You could fight different backstage areas again. The season mode was all right. It was good for what it was.
Panty matches yet again.
I wasn't going to bring that up, Horn Dog. Man, I should rename you to Rip Horn Dog Sides here.
What? Those were fun.
You wouldn't get away with that today. But, all in all, I think it was a good presentation. Yes, this was the last WWE game to have a very controversial character in it.
Yeah.
Because he was scrapped out of the following year's game due to his actions in real life. We know who I'm talking about.
Chris Benoit.
Yeah. But, it was a good game, I thought, overall. So this may be a controversial one. Some people may hate this, but I'm thinking Hall of Fame for 07.
Yeah, I would say great, but it's borderline Hall of Fame.
So I'll make a compromise, and I'm just going to put it here. I think it's better than the arcade style games.
Yeah.
But I'll put it right here. Now we got SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, the first freaking SmackDown vs. Raw game that featured the ECW brand. In the ECW
well, this is when they brought back ECW into the wrestling games.
Yeah. They brought back the ECW title there, the ECW arena, and ECW was a third brand at this, but let's face it, back in the mid to late 2000s, ECW brand was a joke.
Yeah.
But
it did introduce Bobby Lashley, though.
Yeah, it did. No surprise to me, but we know your favorite ECW champion back then was Vince McMahon, wasn't it?
Forgot that he was the champion back then.
Or commonly known to the meme community as Do-Rag Vince.
Yes.
After he freshly got his head shaved. But yeah, I thought the gameplay was also on point here. The story modes, they were fine for what they were. But your thoughts on SmackDown vs. Raw 2008?
It was great. The story mode visually was great. Story mode, doing the moves, great. More exhibition mode where you could actually face people. It was glitchy at times, but that was expected for these early games.
Yeah, so I'll just put this one on the ass end of great here.
Honestly, I'd say middle, but we can.
I would say right about there then.
Yes.
Okay, above the Rumble. Okay. And now we got basically rinse and repeat. It's SmackDown vs. Raw 2009, but this time they were focusing on tag teams. Right?
Yeah.
And I think we had the... correct me if I'm wrong, but I think SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 had the Road to WrestleMania, or was that in 2010 or 2011? For their story.
9, I think.
Yeah. But either way, I thought both of them were pretty good. All the stories modes they had there was pretty good.
Yeah.
The gameplay was alright. I mean, it kind of scaled back from the backstage stuff, but we still had decent hardcore matches there around the ring area. You know, the freaking gameplay system wasn't that bad, like people try to make out for it to be, with the meter system and everything else. Logging up and everything else in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, I got the hang of it. I thought it was pretty alright. You have any experience with SmackDown vs. Raw 09? I'm pretty sure you do.
I have a lot of experience with 09. Because I played it for, they had it for the DS.
Yeah.
They had it for PlayStation.
Yeah, obviously. I think they also had it for Xbox too at this point.
Yes, I played it on all.
And your opinions on SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 here?
It was great. The story mode, amazing.
Yep.
Because this is also where you could interact in your locker room.
Yeah.
When you were doing Road to WrestleMania, so you would start as champ, but then you would lose your championship, and then you would go and challenge people to get it back.
It's like, yeah. As far as I'm concerned, you know, like I said, I thought the matches run smooth. The roster was on point at that time. So it's like, you know, I would actually put it under good, if I'm being honest. Right.
I'd say great, but
yeah, I'd say about fine. I'll put it there next to 08.
Yeah.
Now we got TNA Impact. I tried playing this game. I really didn't like it.
It was decent, and it was an all-right game.
I wouldn't freaking... I mean, the controls were kind of weird.
The controls were weird. The storyline kind of made sense.
That introduced the suicide character, though.
Yes.
And, you know, it's like...
At least you can design your character, though.
It's like, yeah, but it just felt weird to me. And you have to go and win all this shit to unlock all the wrestlers. I have to replay it again to unlock everything. I didn't have that kind of time back then.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I'm like, I didn't get used to it.
It was an all-right game. I liked it. I played it. I owned it.
Yeah, and your thoughts on the gameplay?
The gameplay, clunky
like control-wise.
At some points, visually disappointing at some. Storyline, you get attacked after you play Suicide the first time. You get attacked by two bandana masked figures who was Homicide and her. Who you can literally tell was Homicide and Hernandez.
Yes. So it's like, for me, I thought, okay, fine, it's all right, but it wasn't the greatest. I don't think it's trash though, because at least the story.
No, that's what I'm saying. It was an all right game.
At least the storyline freaking has it as all right.
Yes.
All right. And now we have Legends of WrestleMania, another arcade style type game for the home console, where everyone looks like they fucking ate about 20 years of everyone in the game looks like they took about 20 years of steroids, worth of steroids, and look jacked off their ass like fucking the Monstars from the Space Jam movie. Basically. Or
everyone named it the Monstar game.
Or if you really want to compare these freaking, all these characters in Legends of WrestleMania look like the fucking Hulk.
Yes.
Right? And they can fly around and be agile and do all that freaking like arcadey style shit. There was nothing realistic about this game.
Yeah.
And the story mode is, here's all these great WrestleMania past matches you got to go through. And I'm like, I don't remember freaking Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant 20 feet in the fucking air. While freaking goddamn jumping 50 feet to do a leg drop.
It wasn't 50 feet, it was 100 feet.
Well, I don't remember freaking ever seeing Steve Austin hit a stunner from like 200 feet in the air. Or anything like that. I mean, I'm just being funny here with it because obviously it wasn't realistic.
Yeah, I gotta go close my door. I'll be right back.
So, yeah, in my opinion, it was like, it was cartoony, it was different. But gameplay-wise, like control-wise, it's like gameplay-wise, like, I got the control of it, but it was a bit clunky too at the same time.
Yes, it was clunky.
I mean, Jesus Christ, but the visual when you got a hold of everything. Even your dog doesn't like Legends of WrestleMania. Right?
She's always a talker.
Yeah, and then freaking, and then like, but once you got a hang of the controls, it looked okay. I mean, hell, you can spike freaking Tombstone Power Drive someone from like 20 feet in the air. That would kill somebody in real life. Right?
Yeah.
But as far as like visual-wise, it was fine. Control-wise, not so much. You gotta actually practice how to get the hold of it. It's not like a pick up and go. You actually gotta learn the controllers.
Daisy, move!
Right. So it's like, so I would personally rank, as your dog was saying, I would personally rank this under all right.
Yes.
Where would you would agree with that, huh?
Yes. Next one. Daisy, shut. Daisy, move. Well, you gotta go back outside.
Yeah. What do we got? Yeah, then we got SmackDown vs. Raw 2010 here. Oh, boy. So, this one, I believe, this one was all right gameplay-wise. I was talking about SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, by the way.
Yeah.
I thought it was good for what it was. I thought it was like...
It was okay.
I wouldn't say it was the greatest or, Hall of Fame worthy, but control-wise, it was fine.
It was a game.
Storyline-wise, it was great. I think we had a couple stories, Road to WrestleMania mode, I think.
Yes.
This one, too, you know what I'm saying? And then, you can have title matches at your galore and everything else. It was all right for what it was. Your thoughts on SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, from what you remember?
2010, you could interact backstage with people.
Yeah.
You could talk to the female wrestlers, have them be your manager. And they could turn on you at the slightest moment. Slightest hesitation of you looking at another female superstar.
Yep. I mean, I spent hours playing 2010, so I kind of have an idea of gameplay-wise it was fine. control-wise, it was okay. Right? I got the hang of it just fine, better than what I did with freaking dang Legends of WrestleMania, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And the storylines on there were on point. I thought were great for what they were at the time, so I would actually have to put this one under, like, great. Controversial.
Yeah, I'd put it in great.
Was it better than 09? Possibly. So I'd put under great right there. God, now we got a big gap here. Now we got SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. Or as you would pronounce it, SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. Okay, fuck you too. Again, I feel like the gameplay was the same as SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, because let's face it, you're just buying an updated version of the same game at this point. Something needed to change here.
Yeah.
But freaking SmackDown, the storyline was great, was alright for what it was. Right? And, you know, the roster size was okay. Nothing felt like it was trash or anything like that. From what I remember.
No, it was not trash.
So, your thoughts, what's your experience with SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 here?
2011 was actually a great game. It was literally the one that you could literally beat Kofi Kingston and literally do what he did to Randy Orton's car.
Mm. Yeah.
Drop paint on it.
So, yeah, where would you... And, you know, I know freaking... Yeah, and I know for a fact, you know, freaking... I had fun playing this. I've spent many hours playing on it. But, you know, where would I rank this game? I'd probably rank it under freaking great again. Somewhere in there. Right. Where would you put it, personally?
I'd put it on great, teetering good.
Okay. So I'll compromise. I'll just put on the ass into great then.
Yeah.
Now we got WWE All-Stars, which once again, everyone looks like a steroided freaking goddamn Hulk character. Another arcade style game. All right.
Trash. People may hate this opinion. Trash.
I didn't have a problem with All-Stars, but I didn't plan it that much. But what makes you say it goes in trash? Dude played your case. The table is yours.
I just didn't like it. It was trash to me. You literally had it in freaking button mashing combos.
Fair enough, fair enough. And the jury finds you guilty of hating on a good game. No, I'm fucking kidding. I didn't really like that.
Excuse me, buddy.
Gotta make this comedy at some point, because it feels like this thing's just dragging on at this point. But
honestly, it would be probably better than WrestleMania and better than freaking Backstage Assault. Anything's better than Backstage Assault.
No, not everything. Because at least Backstage Assault didn't make your goddamn system start smoking where it was going to catch fire. That was WrestleMania 21.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, okay, good. You're like, okay, good argument there. Right?
Yeah.
All-Stars, I would say... It was probably, like, all right, like, next to Legends of WrestleMania here. In my opinion. They're about the same, in my opinion. I really wasn't a fan of it either. All right. Now we got WWE 12. They dropped the freaking SmackDown versus Raw on here. On the series as well. Since pretty much the drive was non-existent at this point.
Raw versus SmackDown 2011 was the last of the Raw versus SmackDown era.
Yeah, then we got the next two, which is 12 and 13, which eventually would evolve into the 2K series that we have now. In WWE 12, I played this one a lot. I thought it was pretty good. The gameplay was all right for what it was. The story mode was okay. Right?
Yeah.
But where would you rank this? And I thought the creation in it was fine. I keep forgetting about the creation in each of these games. Some were on point and others were not. That's all I gotta say. Right?
Well, I would put it in good. Because this was the starting of where you could actually customize your creations.
Yeah. With custom shit. I mean, hell, you had the freaking, like, the 360 or the PS3 at that time, you can actually customize your character's entrance theme to a personalized theme song. Not on the game. Which you can't do anymore due to licensing, but I get it. This one I'd probably put on top of good. Right.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the next one, W13. Jesus Christ, I spent a lot of time playing this when it was out. And that one, I believe, had the Attitude Era mode story.
Yes.
And boy, I played the shit out of it, including Universe mode. I thought Universe mode was introduced in 12, but I started playing it a lot on 13.
Well, it started in 12, but then it got better in 13.
And, lately, Universe just been my go-to. I really don't play the story mode that much anymore in these games.
I still do.
And yeah, I think 13 was good for what it was. I spent a lot of hours playing it. The gameplay was fine. And to be honest here, freaking I like it so much, I'm either debating whether it goes in Great or Hall of Fame at this point.
I'd say Great.
I think all three, and I don't, it's like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think all three versions of Mick Foley were in this game as well.
Yes, we had Cactus Jack, Dude Love, and Mick Foley.
Admit it, you probably set a triple threat match to have the AI fight each other as all three of those characters, see who'd win.
Actually, I did.
I think everyone's done that. All right. So I think I would put it, well, I said Hall of Fame, you said Great, so I'll do a compromise and just put it at the start of Great here. No, I know, but your thoughts on 13, since you didn't really talk about it.
It was decent enough. The creations got more complex, so you could actually, at one point, you could actually connect your phone to it and put your music from your phone to the game.
Yep. So yeah, I think we justified its placement. Now, here's another game that I played a lot of, 2K14.
The Rock.
With the Rock on the cover, yeah.
The Croc.
Shit, I created a lot of freaking superstars on here. The creation was actually pretty great. Gameplay was okay. The story mode, bit to be desired, but it was all right. Right?
It was all decent.
Yeah, and then, I spent a lot of time, like I said, in the universe mode on this game. Back, before the universe mode was good.
Trying to create shit in the game.
Yep. And I spent a lot of time playing this game. I can't even tell how many hours I wasted on it back in the day.
I created a brutal title.
Yeah. So what's your experience? What's your thoughts on 2K14?
The story mode, it was to be desired.
Yeah. Well, what about, the universe mode, the gameplay, everything else that it offered? Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention this way back when we were talking about it. I think it was SmackDown Raw 2006 that freaking first, that first freaking introduced everyone to GM mode. I wasted time on that too a lot.
Well, you got to do a lot more GM.
Yes, we can do a lot more GM mode nowadays with the current games.
Yeah.
If we wanted to. But 2K14, I spent a lot of time in universe mode. I know that. God, the universe mode's addicting. Why do you think I still play on that today? All right?
Yeah.
But yeah, where would you put 2K14 here?
I put it in good to great.
Okay, so good to great. How about the acid to great?
Yeah.
God, we're like almost done with this. When will it end? Never. Now we got 2K15. Yeah, this just keeps getting good, better and better, am I right?
Yeah, it's the man you can't see, just like you can't see me.
I'm a fucking piece of shit. I'm about it. I had enough.
Get your fellas back here.
You just had to pull that joke. Hi. You're real right. You got jokes. Go fuck yourself. You got jokes, man.
You see me? No, you don't.
Who do you think you are, John Cena?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Retire already. And where's your money? But yeah, the story mode to 2K15 was fine, but I never really got into it. After the first match, I was like, I'm good. And yeah, this was the last game to have CM Punk in it until 2K24.
Yes.
Yes. And the gameplay itself, I thought it was good. The freaking, the controls are all right. The universe mode, I spent a lot of time in, but I gradually at this time didn't really play 2K15 that much. I always found myself going back to 14.
It was decent enough.
So I would say it was good. I wouldn't necessarily say it was great. Definitely, it's better than all right. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
So I would probably put it next to 12 in good here.
Yeah.
And now we go to 2K16. I think this had another Attitude Era freaking story mode with Steve Austin this time.
Yes.
And that story mode was fine and decent for what it was. Freaking hell, man. The freaking gameplay was fine. The universe mode and other freaking dang modes were okay on it. It's just nothing that I would really hold up there in high regard at this point.
Well, you can also play as Eric Bischoff.
I know, that's your favorite character, especially when you face me in a game. You motherfucker. So no, yeah, we know you got experience with 2K16. Where would you put this?
I put it in great.
Fuck me. I probably would too. Couldn't go for decision, but I'll put it behind 2K24. Or 2K14, I should say. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention 2K14 had the beat the streak mode. Ain't that freaking ironic?
Yep.
Because it was like literally less than a year after that game released that the Undertaker lost for Mania at Mania for real. Right?
Well, it also had where you became a jerk.
Yeah.
If you would have lost.
Yep. But now we move on to 2K17, and this is the first game I actually played on PS4 when I got one. Right?
Yeah.
And it's the first WWE game I made videos off of, so Yeah, cinema value, as you can say, the gameplay I thought was smooth. The freaking universe mode was great. Still, back when you
Well,
could
it was
get.
the only one that had Brock Lesnar on the front.
No, this was the second one that had Brock Lesnar on the front. The first one was Here Comes the Pain.
Oh,
That
I'm
had
saying
Lesnar on the
modern.
cover. But modern day Brock, yeah. Right?
I put it in Hall of Fame because it does have Brock Lesnar. Where you could also have where you could replay them doing their moves.
Yep.
So it had the capture system where you could actually watch them from every angle hit their move.
Yep. So yeah, 2K17 to me, I believe. I don't know if it's Hall of Fame, but it's like on the great mode for me. Because no one that's worthy of Hall of Fame, I
We'll
don't know.
never see Brock Lesnar in another WWE game.
We probably won't. Probably 2K23 was the last game we'll ever be in as a playable character.
Yeah. I guess we'll see what's going on.
Fine, you wanted the ass in the Hall of Fame, we'll put in the ass in the Hall of Fame. Anyway, next on our list, 2K18. Yeah, I played this one a lot too. And I spent a lot of hours on it on the PS4 as well. Never really did the story mode, but I did freaking universe mode, like I've been saying for these recent 2K games. The controls I thought were okay as well for the time.
Yeah.
But you know you have experience with these games too. What are your thoughts on 2K18?
2K18 was different.
Like how so?
It introduced the Hall of Fame's game mode where you could actually wrestle as past superstars.
Yeah. Yeah, and I thought,
so it was different. Unlike every other game, it was how it was added to. They just started to transition to the Hall of Fame stuff where they were doing
having an eye on the legends and everything else.
Yes.
Basically is what you're saying, right?
Yes.
So yeah, I thought about, and you know, I've spent a lot of time on universe mode here, like usual. I thought the gameplay was pretty good. If it wasn't, if it was crap, I don't think I'd be playing it as much.
Like I said, it was gameplay.
Your thoughts on the gameplay? It's all right. It's pretty much the same as 17. But yeah, would I call this Hall of Fame worthy? Probably. I don't know. What's your opinion on it?
I'd say good to great.
All right. I'll just put it under. I'll just put it like right here. Then. 2K19, another banger that everyone actually likes.
2K19 was the AJ Styles gold challenge thing, the $1 million challenge, like tower challenge or something like that.
To me, it felt like the gameplay for 2K19 was the same as its predecessor, 2K18.
Well, yeah.
It's like universe.
They didn't start changing it until
after the disaster.
2K20.
After the disaster that 2K20 was. We're about to talk about that. To me, I never really played the story mode or whatever on here, but you know, universe mode was fine. The controls was fine. But you know, I never really got into it as much as I did with 18. Personally. If I'm being totally honest here. Right?
Yeah.
But you know, that doesn't discard it from being a great game or anything. I just thought 18 was a little bit better in my opinion, unpopular opinion as it is, but that's just my thoughts. I mean, what's your
opinion?
Well,
that's because 19 had glitchy in the beginning until they did patch updates.
Yeah. And your thought overall on the gameplay of this?
It was alright. It was decent.
Enough, right?
I like the idea of where they were giving out money for the tower thing that they were doing.
Yeah. But overall, I would say this is either good or great. I
almost won
it. You wish you would have?
Yes.
But 2K19, I would put this under like the great category. Like, what would you put on this list?
I put it in good to great.
And sorry for not going into detail. We're fatigued. We just talked about all of these damn games. All right, but we'll get to some good ones, bad ones. So I'd probably put it like, me personally, I'd probably put it like right here.
That sounds about right.
Yep. Oh god, and it's everyone's favorite 2K20 next.
Trash. Put it in the trash.
You're basing that off of freaking all the damn glitches and shit.
No, the gameplay was, well, it was decent, but
it was
the glitches for the game really affected it, because we're on day one when it launched, and even when I bought the physical copy, it was glitchy as shit. You would do a move and it would work, but it only worked partially of the time, and then it would be playing online or against one of your friends, or just play against each other, whatever.
Yeah, and you know what's funny?
It would literally freaking glitch you through the freaking ring.
You know what's funny? I never really experienced any of those glitches myself, but then again, I wasn't really online player. I never really experienced those in regular solo player either.
I did.
Yeah, I must have gotten a good copy. Y'all, you got the shitty ones. But to me, it's like, you know, of course, I bought mine digital, so.
Yeah. I had a physical copy.
Yeah. But yeah, the gameplay was alright. I'd give them credit. I mean, the story mode, tower mode, whatever they had, and, you know, the different things you can get, unlock, different freaking arenas you can unlock, like Bray Wyatt Swamp Compound, freaking hell, the futuristic shit with it that they put in here too. I thought that was decent enough. It was different, better than the norm, but I can understand a lot of negatives for this game. All right?
Yeah.
I mean, you say it's trash. I say it's all right, like at the ass end of all right or the start of trash here, but I don't know how it could be worse than WrestleMania 21. 2K20 never made my console explode. But I don't know. This one's a controversial one. You had a bad experience with it, like 90% of people did, but I never did. Even though to me, it just felt like the same shit over again. As in the previous titles, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I can kind of see if I'd put it anywhere but trash, and everyone's going to hate on me despite me actually having a good experience with this. I'm not saying it's worse than Backstage Assault or Raw, okay? So I'm just going to put it right there. Does that make people happy?
That's fine.
Yeah. And then we have your favorite game, Battlegrounds, which was supposed to be 2K21, but because of all the crap with 2K20, they scrapped it and gave us this abomination and this scamming abomination instead.
I refuse to play it.
I think I put it where it belongs already without even any arguments.
In 2K22, I don't have any recollection playing because I don't think I did.
Yeah, well, I did. But anyway, Battlegrounds here. I understand the story. The story was a comic book shit. Gameplay was arcadey, clunky at best. The controls didn't even make sense. The freaking matches didn't make sense. And hey, here's the kicker part. Every time you bought DLC or anything, you don't get it and you get scammed. So yeah, they fuck with you by taking your money. Right? Actually, no, for that, by that reason, I think that one's the worst game. Right?
Nope.
2K22, I have some experience with. Yes, the gameplay did improve from 2K20. So they actually did a good job there. Of course, the roster was slightly outdated because they had the 2021 roster, but it came out in 2022. And over half of those people on that roster left to go elsewhere or got released.
Yeah.
But you know, I thought the gameplay.
Well, I don't have any recollection of playing. I don't think I didn't play it because I didn't have the money to get time. And then when I did, they were already taking away all the online. So I couldn't really give it a fair judgment.
Of course, 2K22 first introduced everyone to their favorite mode in 2K. What's it called?
My Rise.
No, not My Rise. Well, yeah, I think. Well, yeah. But I'm talking about the other one. You know, the one with the freaking cards you got to unlock. What's that name? What's that one again?
My Faction.
My Faction, yeah. I mean, I was about to say, you play it more than I do. You should know what it is.
I had to remember for a second what it was called because I know it was like My Rise.
My Rise was a story mode with your created character. I think they introduced that in 20.
They did it in 20. I forgot to say that. The My Rise in 20 was amazing, though.
I mean, yeah, that story was fine, but the whole gameplay was crap. We can all freaking, or the glitches were crap.
From what I've seen on gameplay for 2K22, it was actually really decent. So I can give judgment from that because I watched YouTubers play it, and I watched Dank Ops play it. I watched BDE play it.
Yeah, and here's the thing about 2K22. You know, like the easy to pick up control grapple system we have now in these current 2K games, where do you think it came from? 2K22. The freaking control systems were different prior to that.
The My Rise was actually decent because it had The Rock as president.
Yeah. And 2K22 had some freaking like references to the My Rise story from 2K20, bringing back some of the older characters in game.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So, and you know, so yeah, that story was alright. The fucking, the other stories on there were okay. Like, you know, the one with Rey Mysterio where you had to go and unlock everything. What was that? Name of that one? Cena had one as well. I keep forgetting. What was it called?
For what?
You know, where you got to control
for the old superstars?
Yeah, where you got to freaking like control all these superstars in a story mode, and it cuts back to the real life stuff, and then
it's the Hall of Fame thing.
Yeah, then it cuts the real life footage, then back to your game footage.
Let me go look at the game real quick.
I keep forgetting about that.
Pop on my game real quick on 2K, and I'll be right back, just so I could remember what the name of it is.
Yeah, I know what it's called. It's just there on the tip of my tongue. I'm gonna feel stupid when I figure it out. Right? These are current games too. You'd think I'd remember shit better. Oh, god damn it, I just figured it out.
Showcase!
Yeah, I was about to say, you're going to feel stupid because I just looked it up on my phone.
It was Showcase.
The showcase mode. Yeah, I feel stupid. I just looked it up on my phone. I'm like, that's what it was. Right? So yeah, the Rey Mysterio showcase mode in there. That was fine. God, man, I feel fucking dumb.
So do I. Like I said.
We play these current games and couldn't even remember that. That's comical. Right? God damn it. Showing our age, we're becoming forgetful.
No, I just couldn't remember what the name of it was. I'm like, show something.
Showcase mode. Yeah, that's what it was. God damn it. Imagine if I put that clip in, there'd be people in the comments like, it's called Showcase, you dumbasses. We get it. But anyway, the Showcase mode on 2K23 focused on Rey Mysterio's career at that time. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. It was a cool mode. So overall, I don't know if I would give it Hall of Fame status, but I would say it's great, at least, in my opinion.
From what I've seen, it would be good to great. So, not really Hall of Fame.
So I'll compromise. I'll put on the end of great then, because I have more experience with 2K22. And then we go to 2K23.
The man cannot see, just like he can't see me.
Hey, this is 2K23. Hey, Jack, go shove that kendo stick up your ass again. Because, yeah, that was a game we were playing when that whole glitch incident happened. Last year or 2 years ago. Whatever it was.
Last year?
Yes.
Which literally pissed me off because this year... last year, it was 2 years ago, but we did it last year.
Yeah, we did the video last year.
But when 2K24 came out, and even if you bought it physically or digitally, you got a free 2K23.
Yeah, and if you pre-order 2K...
to everyone that had bought it.
Yes, and if you pre-order 2K25 right now, guess what you get for free?
We'll get to that later. Don't even mention it right now.
I'll fucking do it when I want to. Everyone knows anyway. 2K23. It was a freaking good game, except freaking... And this was the problem with 2K24. Me being a Universe player,
well,
I'm just...
2K was John Cena's stuff that they were focusing on.
Saying rise, it's like, yeah, rise above the power, whatever, right? The showcase mode, whatever it was, where you kept beating Cena all the time as his opponents.
Yes.
He's for the showcase mode. And then you got Invisa Cena.
You had Super Cena.
Which is the one you can't see, it's just as fucking close.
Which you had to wrestle, which was fucking hilarious.
And you're like, they should bring that character back.
See him? You can't see me yet again.
You're not John Cena. I can see through your bullshit.
You know I had to do it. Twice. 3 times.
Of course, when it comes to 2K23, the online play was toxic as fuck. Especially when playing against this motherfucker right here who never sells.
Oh, yeah. Also, in our 2K23 game, which I beat him as Mr. McMahon. I beat him as Eric Bischoff. I beat him as Stephanie McMahon.
There's no proof, so it never happened.
Which was kind of a slap in his face because he was Ronda Rousey.
Nah, there's no proof, so it never happened.
It happened. People saw it.
Maybe on your stream, but not on my channel, so it never happened.
It happened.
The only match I remember was that Glitch in a Cell match. I didn't care if I fucking lost. That was hilarious. What the hell did you...
Yes, he was Razor Ramon and I was Cactus Jack.
I don't know.
But strangely was the only Mick Foley character that was available.
Yeah, in 23 and 24, all of them were available.
Yes.
But yeah, anyway, I'm just gonna... And yeah, that was Glitch, but speaking of Glitch, we'll get to that later. But where would you? I thought the freaking universe mode was okay, but I noticed this with 2K22 and of course 2K23. They took promos out of fucking universe mode, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Of course, I heard they're bringing that back in the latest title, but that is yet to be determined. But where would you? But I thought overall, I thought the universe mode was okay-ish. Right.
Hall of Fame.
You would put 2K23 in Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Only because of you shoving a cane up your own ass.
Well, that and also it's John. Besides the new 2K that having.
Yep. Fine, I would put it. Fine, I would probably put it right about there.
Yeah.
Next is your other favorite game, Fight Forever from AEW.
Don't even remind me of that. I bought that game and freaking played it once and said garbage.
Like, wow, this was a waste of money.
Yes, it was.
I understand.
I didn't even look at the reviews. I just bought it because I'm like, oh, cool, you can play as broken Matt Hardy. And I'm what the fuck are these controls?
I guess they were trying to base it off of No Mercy up here, but kind of missed the mark.
They missed it by far. They threw a dart at a dartboard and missed it.
Yeah, and they didn't even have all matches. You can't even play a cage match in Fight Forever. You know that? What wrestling game does not have a cage match?
Their freaking explosive barbed wire match was kind of crap.
Yes, I do give them credit. I mean, Fight Forever is the first game to have intergender wrestling in about 10 years, but not even that sold me. And yeah, I bought it too, so it's a wait.
Made the controls for nowadays.
For like what we see now.
I think it would have been a lot better.
Like if they made it, their controls. I'm not saying exactly like the 2K games because that's our competition, but similar to like that layout to where people can easily pick it up, then maybe it would work better.
Or like a couple years ago with the other 2K games, they could have done it that way.
Yeah, then we'd have to
get. But the way that they did it, they kind of set themselves up for failure.
Yeah. Not only that, as well, they never really have a freaking release date for any of their DLCs. They do shit seasonal. You freaking the goddamn whatchamacallit mode, the Stadium Stampede. That's online only, and good luck getting a good match going there with like about 100 people. But yeah, their entrances were creative, especially when you have all the belts on somebody, but that's about as much praise I can give it. Overall, I wasn't into the gameplay. I hardly even played, and even I thought I wasted money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it was literally a waste of money.
So I know this is going to be a controversy. I know people are going to be pissed off, and I'm not saying this because I'm not doing this because I'm a WWE person. That has nothing to do with it. I'm doing this because I'm like, I never really got into it. It kind of sucked for me.
Honestly, like I said, if they would have done it for the controllers nowadays, instead of trying to copy and paste controls from years back,
yeah,
then yeah, they would have actually had a decent game.
So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to put I have to put Fight Forever and Trash right behind Backstage Assault. I mean, they tried, but they failed. Right?
Yes.
Even though we know that's your favorite game, I mean, hell, which would you rather play, Fight Forever or Battlegrounds? You're like, neither.
Neither.
Which brings us to our last game we're going to talk about in depth, and obviously we play this now recently. As of right now, we're talking about 2K24 here.
Yes.
To me, it loses like the Hall of Fame spot. It could have potentially had because the online was so clunky and not working.
Well,
most of its duration.
The online when it first started was good. It was great because we played a few matches online, and then later on in the months, it just started getting worse.
Of course, I do give 2K24 credits the first freaking game that brought special guest referee back after about a decade.
Yeah, but we could never play it.
Exactly. Of course, 2K24 is the first console game to have an ambulance match mode.
Yes.
And the casket match made a return as well in the game. And, the universe mode, they didn't bring back promos, but I still was freaking grinding hours on universe mode in my spare time. Right?
Yep.
When I'm not busy making...
as Eric Bischoff and beat you as The Undertaker.
So, yeah, I usually play 2K24 when I'm not busy dealing with this motherfucker on other games.
Right. But she's never beaten me online. Not once.
We can't even play online without it worrying about it fucking shitting out on us. Oh, that's an improvement they need to freaking... That's an improvement they need to make on the latest title coming out.
Well, when the new game comes out, they're literally taking 2K24 online away.
Yeah. Oh, and let's not forget freaking release of the new fucking title. Guess what they have? Just like last year, a free version of 2K24.
Yes, I know.
When I first read that, I'm like, that's a slap in my face, because I paid full price for that motherfucker.
Well, I paid full price for my 2K24, which I had the Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley edition, the deluxe edition.
I had the freaking goddamn WrestleMania one.
Crap, and then it fixed itself.
I had the WrestleMania Story edition, so I had the most expensive one last year for this game.
Well, I bought the WrestleMania edition digitally.
Yes, and you had to buy it digitally because freaking what happened to your fucking goddamn physical copy disc? You technically paid for it twice.
Yes.
Because your disc quit working for some reason.
Yes.
So technically, you paid for this game twice, only to find out with the new release, it's like, oh, you get it for free. That's a slap in your face, right?
Well, it's a slap in the face for 2K24 because you get 2K23 free anyways.
So yeah, 23 free when you bought 24, and then this year you get 24 for free when you pre-order 25.
Yes.
It's fucking bullshit. But overall, I thought the freaking gameplay was still okay, was still good. I mean, it was similar to 23 and 22. I like the controls.
Did I say that it was worth a buy? Yes, it was.
I like the modern controls here compared to yesteryears. I'm sorry. That's just how I am nowadays. Easier to pick up compared to yesteryear's controls where you gotta memorize certain shit. And even when you get freaking frustrated or don't know, it pops up for you and you can look it up on the pause menu. What to do with the combo system.
And of course, you have the man that had come back after fucking 13 years.
Yeah. 2K24 was CM Punk's first WWE game appearance since 2K15.
And Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, and this was Cody Rhodes' first appearance since, 2K... Yeah, I think it was 2K15 or 16. Right?
Yes. I think it was 16.
So, yeah, where would you rank the current 2K24 game that we actually play right now?
Great.
Yeah, not quite Hall of Fame status, but I would probably put on top of great.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't put it under Hall of Fame. Like I said, the online was buggy as fuck.
The My Rise was because you get to choose two different My Rise. The
male,
female,
the female
or the
female story, and
the undisputed,
and the male character and the female characters. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and then like I said, universe mode. Universe mode. You can either pick regular free roam sandbox, which is what I play a lot of, or the freaking dang superstar mode. And at first, you can create your own dang matches, even on superstar mode for your guy with everyone, but then they made it to where you can only use people from that specific brand, which dumbs it down a bit.
Well, actually, you can also get old superstars and have them put on any brand or make your own. And then they have the GM mode that they brought back.
Yeah, they brought GM mode. I believe they brought that back in like either 22 or 23. I don't remember. But I know it was in 24. Right?
I think it was 23 that they brought it back.
Yeah. I mean, we could be wrong, but we know it came back in one of those games. Right?
Yes.
So, yeah. Anyway, 2K24. That's pretty much our list right here. But we got to talk about 2K25. Which version are you freaking goddamn pre-ordering?
Dead Man.
The Dead Man edition?
Dead Man.
Now, obviously, we cannot put this under any of the other tier lists, so we got to put this as undecided since it hasn't come out yet at time of recording.
Yes.
But it will be coming out literally for pre-order. It will be coming out literally, what, about a week or two from now?
Yes.
Yeah, time of recording.
Well, it's out for pre-order, but it won't. The first 2 pre-orders will not be available until a couple weeks, and then the original one comes out on the 14th or 16th. I think it's the 14th.
Yeah, and I just know we get ours
so you
early.
get to play it 7 to 8 days earlier if you pre-order.
Yeah, I know you and I both pre-ordered the Dead Man edition. I was thinking about doing the Bloodline edition, but I decided not to. All right.
You know, I'm going to be pre-ordered. I haven't pre-ordered it yet, but I am going to be pre-ordering it.
Yeah, but anyway, before I wrap this up, like, what's some of the news and rumors about 2K25 that we've been hearing around that could actually be good?
Intergender matches.
I heard a rumor that the females in the women in the game will actually be able to bleed this time for the first time in a WWE game.
Jade Cargill will be a playable character instead of a DLC.
Yeah, like right away instead of a DLC like she was in 24.
Then we'll be getting the Wyatt 6.
Yeah. Well,
which will also be getting Alexa Bliss.
Yes, you'll be getting the order I heard you'll be getting the freaking Wyatt 6 pre-ordering the Dead Man version.
You get it from pre-ordering any of the versions, but
yeah. I know the freaking dang. I know the big main story that they have is the Bloodline story, kind of like how the WrestleMania mode was last year, but I'm thinking about just getting that later on. Island mode. Your dog is just scuffling at the fact of island mode. But yeah, that's what I heard. But anyway, I don't know. Let's see what's going on with 2K25 here. I can report right now. Hold on, people. I'm looking this up. Maybe more superstars in here. It's like, I don't know who's all confirmed for 2K25, but it's kind of sad to say. It's kind of sad to say I already know one fucking person who won't be in 2K25 this year.
Who?
We know Lesnar won't be in it.
Yeah, well, Mr. McMahon won't be in it either.
Nope. But yeah, Island mode. Island mode to me, when I first read about that, seems intriguing.
I don't know if they're taking out My Rise for it, which I hope they don't.
They may. I don't know for sure, though.
I hope they don't.
But from what I've got,
if they do, it'll be a different kind of concept.
But from what
which would be interesting in itself.
Yeah, but from what I gathered, Island mode's supposed to be like an online mode where you level up or
make your own character.
Make your own character. You level up, doing matches and get missions and do missions to get like coins and stuff to unlock stuff. From what I understand.
Yes.
Will I play a lot of freaking Island on? Maybe. It depends on how I feel after I played the first time. Right?
Yes.
So, yeah, anyway, one of these days, we're probably just going to have to do a...
Also, I forgot to say, for 2K24, they introduced where you can get Bray Wyatt as DLC, The Fiend.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of good stuff in there, but 2K25, it's great. It's gonna be great, I feel, but I just hope it ain't no goddamn disappointment. But from the sounds of it, it's supposed to be a good game.
Yes, and the reason why I'm getting the Dead Man is because he's the GOAT. He deserves to be on a WWE freaking game.
Yeah. So anyway. But anyway, before I close this out, do you agree with our placement where we put all 60 plus games here?
Yes.
Except there's one that needs to be moved to trash.
I swear to God.
I'm just fucking around. I'm just joking.
We will have a riot. People will literally be doxing your address and sending you hate mail.
I'm just fucking joking around. I would never do that. I would never do that. One, because Riptidz is freaking crazy in his own right. So yeah, anyway, that's our thoughts. This is our list. Your tier list probably look different.
But also 2K brought back No Holds Barred.
Yes. Those barred matches, crazy matches, weapons. But yeah, your tier list look different than ours probably, but I swear to God, if you fucking put No Mercy or freaking goddamn Here Comes a Pain any lower than Hall of Fame, we will haunt you.
Honestly, if you guys put it in great, it'll be understandable because not a lot of people like the games. But anything lower than Hall of Fame or great.
And yes, I am being sarcastic.
Everyone that loved this game will literally be putting hate comments. I swear to God.
And yes, I am being sarcastic way too damn much right now.
Well, honestly, I would think that people would put hate comments, but I don't know. I don't know how people would react, so... Me, I would put a comment, what are you thinking? It deserves to be in Hall of Fame.
But anyway, that's our thoughts. That's our tier list. I hope you enjoyed our tier list here. This is one of the longest tier list videos we made. And God, I'm freaking drained. I need to freaking go relax. So, yeah,
almost 3-hour video.
Yeah, so we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
Deuces.